first thing, you're standing under turret. What does this provide?
What does it provide?
Yeah, what kind of valuable information are you gaining from standing under turret?
Absolutely nothing.
Correct. So instead, what I should see is you standing in this brush.
Right.
Or if you're on red side, then it would be the brush over here. The reason is so that way, if the enemy team decides to invade topside, you'll have it covered. Whereas if you're standing here, you have no idea.
I've never seen anybody invade topside.
Yeah, it's pretty much never going to happen in bronze. But as you climb, it'll happen a little bit more often, where people get fancy with their invades.
So, should I, like, in that case, should I still take Q first or E? Because the matchup is Jax. Jax would win pretty hard level 1, wouldn't he?
You win level 1.
Really? But I thought... really? Oh, interesting.
But we'll get to that. So, but back on the invade point. So, let's say you're covering this brush, or whichever breath, either side. If you think about it, it doesn't actually cover all angles if they're trying to take the blue buff, because there's still this area. And that's kind of inevitable in bronze. In theory, your jungler's supposed to cover, but you can only cover one spot.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, the Jax matchup, the reason you win level 1 is... Okay, well, I guess first, explain to me how you think he wins level
1. He brought Ignite that game, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
On top of that, Jax has his dash, and I didn't pick E first. So say I start to lose, I have no escape, and he could just keep chasing me down.
So, okay, so it'd be level 1, you're saying he's taking his Q, his jump.
I think most Jaxes do, either that or their E, which is their stun. Which, again, I don't have my E, so I can't dodge it.
Yeah. So if he's starting his jump, and you start your Q, it's going to be pretty hard for him to stick to you. So what's going to happen is, let's say he wants to jump onto you. Yes, he'll get that initial jump, but he's also going to get slowed, and then you can keep sitting there autoing while he's slowed. He can't stick to you at all.
Yeah.
The only way he would win the trade is if you just let him get into melee range.
Right. So I'm just supposed to kite him?
Yeah.
Okay. So
knowing that information now, with that, your goal should be to push this wave because you're stronger early. It's going to be very common for Gnar in general just because of his spacing.
Yeah.
So, ideally, do you have any idea which wave you'd want to crash if you're pushing?
The cannon wave?
Yeah.
The third one?
Yep. Third wave, cannon, exactly. Now, why is that wave good?
Shit. Because it lasts longer, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So, you'll build up the first two waves, and then, yeah, because it's a cannon, it takes them longer to clear, and it gives you more time to either recall or make some kind of play on the map.
Right.
Whereas if it's just a bunch of melee and caster minions, you don't have as much time.
Right.
You're really far back.
Yeah, I'm scared of Jax.
Yeah. Because all you gotta do is, like, you just go up, you auto-attack him, and then if he tries to Q on you, as I said, you can slow him, and then you run back, and there's not a whole lot he can do. But
yeah,
since you think that you beat him level 1, I can understand why you're playing how you are.
I'm just used to losing matchups level 1. I don't know if it's like a skill thing. Maybe I'm just playing it wrong, but a lot of the time I'm like scared to go up.
Yeah. That's definitely should not be happening on Gnar often. Yeah. However, if you think he beats you level 1, then your play still doesn't entirely make sense. Because if you think he's stronger level 1, would you want to be pushing the wave?
Yeah, because minion advantage and minion's going to do a lot of damage level 1.
Because yeah, if you're hitting minions, well, what's going to end up happening is like, let's say this is a bad matchup and he beats you, then you're going to push. He's going to be able to hold the wave here, and you're not strong enough to crash it in theory because it's a bad matchup.
Yeah.
So if you think he's better than you early, you should be letting him push, and you just like stay safe and farm. So even if you have the wrong idea about the matchup, your intent should still match it.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you get... here's the next wave. So you get level 2 off the first minion of this wave. And you will get it significantly before him because he's still clearing up the last wave. Hopefully you go for that level 2 spike.
I don't think I was paying attention to my level there, to be honest.
Okay. So you hit level 2, but you did nothing with it.
Yeah.
So what we should see, so here you would be spam hitting this minion, trying to get it as low as you can. And in the process of hitting that minion, you did it for like a moment there, but you want to be standing here.
Right.
And so then as soon as this minion's low, you auto it, you get the level 2, and you're in position to hit him immediately. But if you're back here, you can't do anything with your level up, because the range is too far. Then you go down and you ward. I don't like the ward either. So the ward, it's a little bit too early, but also I would rather you do it after you clear this wave.
So wait for the third wave to crash?
No, not third wave to crash. Like, so this is the second wave.
Right.
You wait for the third wave to start getting here, or after you've cleared the second wave, and then you can go and you can ward here.
Tri-bush. Right.
Yeah. So you ward at that timing because it's when you don't have to last hit because you just finished clearing the wave. You're not relieving Jax of any pressure, but now you are. Now he gets to farm for free. But then also because it's just too early for a jungler to be ganking you right now.
Oh, that's a very good point. Yes.
Yeah, it's 219. It's very, very early gank if they're going to do that. But yeah, so the reason I want you to ward here is because this is where the jungler is going to gank, generally. Because you're pushing up. You're going to be like here soon. If the wave is pushing into you, then this ward makes a little bit more sense because they're not going to come through here. Or at least you don't care if they come through here, if you're here.
Yeah.
So relative to where you plan to be in the lane, you should end up adjusting your ward based on that.
Right.
Okay, so you push the wave, poke him out a little bit. Okay. So interestingly enough, he used his Q, and then nothing happened because, as I said, you can just slow him.
Yeah.
Like he gets slowed, he Qs you, and you don't care. It's fine. The E was fine, but then you just want to run into the brush once he starts his dodgy.
Right. Just because there'd be no point trying to chase it.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Yep. That's all good. You just push this wave in. Up. A little slow on it. Let's see, where was it? Yeah. Remember what we talked about wanting to crash the third wave?
Yeah.
That's this wave. What's going to end up happening when you don't crash this wave, because like, you should be using your Q on these minions and just shoving it as fast as you can. That's your top priority.
Right.
Because you don't crash it, you're going to be very vulnerable to getting ganked, because the next wave is going to come in and you're going to have to stay really far up to clear the wave.
Right.
It also gives Jax this little chance to go in, but you get to E out, so it's not all bad. Oh boy, we still haven't crashed. We'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't think I fully understood the concept of crashing until like just now.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we crashed the wave. 2 waves late, but
Right.
it's fine. Now you need to immediately recall.
So instead of sitting there trying to hit tower.
Yeah. So there's multiple reasons for why hitting the turret here is bad. The first one, and the biggest reason, is because turrets before 5 minutes have extra armor. So there's no way you're getting that plate. Like, look at how little damage you do to it.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Very important to know. Oh, it's so sad. And now we've got an even bigger problem. Because you're greeting for this plate, and you're still here without buying items. And Jack's going to be able to beat you because he comes back with items, even though you're supposed to have the advantage. But because you haven't spent your gold, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So yeah, instead, like as soon as you get this kill and clear this wave, immediately recall, get out of there, and come back with items. But that doesn't happen. Oh, can we please recall eventually? Let's see. How long must I wait to see one? Keeps wanting to take a while to load. Let's see. Nope, not yet.
Also doing clearing waves.
Yeah. There we go. We finally recall at level 7, almost 8 minutes in. And you get your items. Not ideal.
How many times do you think I like should have backed like by now? By 8 minutes, should I have backed like twice already?
Twice by now, yeah, probably. Based on how the lane would go.
Right.
Oop. I'm gonna pretend like the rest didn't happen. Because none of that can be right if you still hadn't recalled. So we're gonna go from here after you have bought items. Okay, so what's gonna happen with this wave?
I don't know.
Let me rephrase that. Is it gonna push into you or is it gonna push into him?
Oh, he's gonna push into me.
Yes. Why?
He's shoving it.
Okay, that's part of it. Let's say he's just completely stopped hitting minions. Would it still push into you?
Yes.
Yes. So the reason is because it's on his side of the lane, and relative to where it is, his minion advantage is going to push. Because he's got 6 minions, you've got 5, and it'll push.
Right.
Okay, let's see what happens here. Okay. This ward. What is your intent with it?
Just to get a little bit of a heads up if the jungler comes to river.
Okay. So what's going to happen with this wave now that Jax is pushing?
It's gonna go to the middle.
It's going to keep pushing. If we go back. So he's building up this big wave. You're not fighting him, for the most part. It's going to keep pushing, which is what you want. You want the wave to keep pushing, and then you want to hold it right here.
Right.
The reason you want to hold it right here is because that way he has to walk really far up to get CS, and you can either have Olaf gank, or you can just straight up chase him down because you have more room to work with.
Right.
And if he tries to jump on you, you can just run to your turret easily. So it's a really safe position to be in.
Right.
The main reason I'm bringing all of this up and why I asked about the ward is because if that's your intent, this ward doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
you're here.
I'm already back.
Yeah.
So should I only be like warding if I like start like shoving my wave?
You ward when you think you're going to be at risk.
Right.
And the reason I word it like that is because, let's say you know the enemy jungler is bottom, and you're pushing. Well, then you don't need the ward because you know he's bottom.
Right.
But if you don't know where the jungler is, or he's likely topside and you're pushing, then you would need the ward. Or let's say you're low HP and you think you might get dove, then even though you're right here, you could still need the ward.
Yeah.
A little bit of... Yeah. Got fight over Jax. It's to be expected in bronze, but I'm sure you've heard of this at least on YouTube somewhere. The lock camera,
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna be playing lock camera, you at least need to be moving the camera when there's a fight.
Right. Oh, because Tristana was pushing the wall off underneath me.
Yeah, she's in your jungle. She at least should glance and see what's happening.
Right.
But now, you just have no clue what's going on. They could be winning it, they could be losing it, don't know.
Right.
Okay. We have a wonderful position here. What can you do with this?
I don't know, let her shove the tower. Like, huh?
You want to keep
Freeze?
the wave right here. So all you have to do is you kill... Let's see, so there's 8 minions. You clean up these, and then you clean up a couple of these, maybe even just one, like this one. And then you have these extra minions support his minions, and so the wave keeps pushing into you, and you can hold it right here. So you can maintain what I was talking about earlier, being able to chase him down or have people gank, because you have no reason to need to leave.
Right.
Freezing is really, really easy to set up in bronze, because they'll give you freeze opportunities over and over, because they always push. And if you can do it right, you should be able to go consistently at least like 6-7-0 in lane.
Right.
Okay. This is like almost there, but then you keep hitting the minions until it's not anymore.
Yeah. I don't know why my thought process there was to shove wave.
I mean, there may not have been a thought process, to be honest. And I know that sounds like flame, but when you're in bronze, your mind's focused on a lot of different things at once, because you don't have things down to muscle memory.
Yeah.
And so it can be pretty easy to just kind of ignore what you're doing with the wave.
Plus, I should have gone to or at least looked at the Tristana once again. But
yeah, but you just have no idea. Yep. Okay. Kill Jax. Oh no! Almost.
Barely missed.
It's alright. Crash the wave. Don't greed for the Q. No.
I think I knew that was gonna fuck me, so I like waited too late, and then I realized after it happened. Is there even any need to teleport back there, or should I just?
Yeah, you do need to teleport here. Okay. Jax just crashed the wave, and then he's gonna be looking for recall himself. You can use this as an opportunity to crash before he can get back. TV's good. Continue to push. This is great. Get this play and then back away. Yep. Another basic thing commonly talked about in videos or whatever, the normal cast on your abilities instead of quick cast.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know what setting that is or what it does.
So, what you're doing, like notice how you're seeing the indicator and then you're hitting the button. Yeah. Like you're clicking, let's say it's Q. You click Q and then you click the mouse to use the ability.
Yeah.
Instead, what should be is you have the mouse already where it needs to be and you just hit the Q key. That's it. So what ends up happening is that because you're having to click the button, then move the mouse to where it needs to be, your entire combo is really slow.
Right.
Everything should be coming out much faster than it is. And so this can be helpful initially for new players to figure out what the range of their abilities is. But after you've played the champion enough, you really need to take that off.
Right. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. So, should I be focusing a lot more on where my mouse is then? 'Cause I feel like I don't do that at all.
Yeah, it's really important to know where your mouse is. Die. Come back to plan.
I think it started off with me missing, collecting my Q and then trying to get the minions.
Mm-hmm. This is fine. Do keep in mind you don't have vision of your river, though. There's, yep, there's the crew.
Yeah.
So, knowing that this map is dark, your goal should be, you can go for this Q, and then you can go for a little poke, whatever E-outs is also fine. But then your goal needs to be, okay, I immediately need to get a ward down. It doesn't matter if it's a really good trade. If you don't know that the enemies can show up or not, you're just gonna die.
Yeah, it's so greedy for this.
Yeah.
Is not good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's me clearly not paying attention to the map for fucking mid lane lost so hard.
They show on the map here. I don't know what to tell you on this.
Yeah.
That lock camera.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't care about the rest because there's only 2.5 more minutes and you've got an AFK. So, none of that is important. Pull up Notepad. Let me talk about this in a second. So, lock camera / camera control. You've gotta break the lock camera. Yeah. I know nobody wants to do it, but you gotta do it. Just play some norms where you're not allowed to hold spacebar down or keep the camera locked until you can get it comfortably. Same thing with quick cast.
I played with it before. I don't know why. I think it's just sometimes my brain just turns off and it's easier to have it on. fucking locked camera.
Yeah.
I definitely tried before. I don't think that'd be too big of an issue, especially since I want to try actually getting better.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Cover this one in a second. Wave management, particularly freezing. If you can get even just freezing down, you'll get so much value from it.
Right.
And I can cover more examples of when and how to freeze later. Recall timings. The best times to do it is when you crash a really big wave, if you have a ton of gold, or you're just low and you're just dying.
Right.
You had all of those at once earlier.
Yeah.
So yeah, just think about that. And just your, like, the way, how you push waves, or allow the waves to push into you, whatever, a lot of that should be relative to when you want to recall to buy particular items.
Right.
Because obviously, as close to your mythic as you can, you want to recall, or if you can get a good item like maybe Sheen or Tier 2 boots, whatever, then that's great to recall on. Just whatever you're buying. The warding, just make sure it has a purpose.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it's bad, I would rather that, as long as you have, at least in your mind, a legitimate reason for the ward. And then you can work from there.
Yeah. Hold on. I actually will write these down for myself.
Yeah. I can send them to you.
Yeah, that works.
So I wrote down click/spacing because if I go back, particularly when you, actually I can go to like probably level 2. Where was it? I want you to watch your cursor. Do you see how far away and slow it is? Like, it's really far from your character. It's kind of just like wandering around. What it needs to be is like really, really close to your character.
More like micro movements.
Yes.
Right.
Do you understand the value of that?
Yeah, because you can like move quicker.
Yeah. It makes it way easier to dodge skill shots or dance just in and out of range of something, which is very important on Gnar.
Right.
Because, like, let's say it's not a Jax. I mean, it's good in a Jax too. But let's say you're against something like a Darius. Darius is going to have his Q circle, which is the main thing you want to avoid. And if you can just sit there and dance just outside of it while you're auto-attacking him a bunch, you can bait out his Q, and then you've won. If you can just make him think you're going to walk into him. But then you...
That's also like learning the range of other champs' abilities.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Right.
Gonna have to know that.
Okay. Makes sense, though.
And that goes back to like the quick cast thing. Not only do you have to know enemy abilities, but you know yours is very well, so it takes a lot of practice. Unfortunately, there's no efficient way for me to really help you with that.
Yeah, I know. It's just learning over time.
Yeah.
I've played like a lot of those champs like a fair bit, so I think I know their range for the most part for like a lot of champs, especially top laners.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's like an advantage, but it's also like lack of sticking to one champ that might also be hurting me a little bit.
Yep. But of course, you can also figure out the range just early on in the lane. Once they use the ability, you can get a general idea.
Yeah, that too.
And then play off that. But then yeah, so as long as you're clicking closer, then that'd be really good. And so that way, it would also make it easier to kite because you click the Jax, then you click just behind you, and then you can click to auto again, click just behind you.
Yeah.
Have you heard of A-clicking?
No.
Okay. So
is that A is like you can choose which mark like or where to like auto attack and it shows your auto attack range? Is that it?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know which setting it is, but what I'm thinking of is, or at least it's called attack moving.
Okay.
Is where like, so let's say your cursor, so it's here. If you use attack move click, what it's going to do, at least for me it's the A key, is it'll choose the closest target and auto attack it. So even though your cursor's here, it's going to hit this minion.
Right.
The good thing about that is that it makes kiting way, way easier. Because you'll use your A click to auto jacks in front of you. You'll normal click back here, and then you'll A click again here.
So I should be like clicking to move somewhere and then A clicking to like auto. That's okay.
Yeah.
That actually is. Wow.
It's a really important skill for ADC, not as much for top lane, but because you're playing Gnar, you're basically an ADC.
Yeah.
But even on League Melee champs, you still do it a lot, so it's good to practice.
Right.
Okay, so since that was fairly quick, we can look over another game if you'd like, or whatever you want to do, really.
Yeah, there's another game on the same channel. It's a set matchup.
I'm gonna try to avoid repeating stuff too much.
Yeah.
Unless it's like freezing or something that's worth covering again.
Right. So this is another. So because I was on this side of the map this time, I'd go try bush instead of standing under tower.
Yep.
Okay.
Poor jungler didn't get a leash.
Oh. I saw him blue buff and I thought he backed.
Yeah.
To like, because he forgot item. I was not paying attention to that at all.
Technically, it's correct for you to not leash the Warwick in this matchup. Because if you do leash the Warwick, you have to give up control of the wave. Whereas normally you can have control if you're spacing well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, obviously that was not your reasoning. Okay.
Yeah.
So, against Set, who wins level 1?
Set. Oh.
Okay.
I think Set would win. I mean, like, he's fucked tons of armor and he just, like, auto-attacks you 3 times and you die.
Okay. So, he can't do any of that level 1. Because if you're spacing correctly with your Q, he cannot get in range.
Right. Also, because I'd be able to kite him really hard since his auto attack range is shorter than mine.
Yep. Yep. And just like last time, if your intent is that he's stronger, you're definitely not matching that at all with what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, even if, either way, whether you're stronger than him or he's stronger than you, queuing these minions is never a good idea.
Why is that? Because I want to save it?
Yeah, you're on cooldown for no reason.
Okay.
You're on cooldown when you could just simply use your last hit, like your regular auto attack at last hit, and you're pushing the wave faster than you want to now.
Right.
We talked earlier about crashing the third wave. You queuing those minions means that you're going to have to crash the second wave.
Right.
Assuming he doesn't push back. And this dude is over-respecting. Yeah.
He ended up leaving the game later.
Yeah. Okay.
It's another useless ward.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this one's particularly bad. He's on the mini-map. But yeah, and way too early for a Kang to be able to gank you. So.
Am I going with the right abilities, by the way? Like Q, then E, then W? Or should it be?
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I just now saw this.
Oops.
Poor guy.
I was like watching a TV show.
Yeah.
Sometimes I start a game and I have to wait like 15 minutes before it actually starts, so I'll just like watch a bit of a TV show and turn it off.
Okay. So when you're going in, and you're slowing him, whatever. Now unintentionally, you did what I was talking about earlier, where you get just in and outside of his E range. He burns it, and then he's just free to poke as much as you want.
Yeah, I was really focusing on like dodging his E in this matchup.
Yeah.
I think he still got me a few times, but that was like the number one thing I was focusing on, was just trying to like make him waste his E.
That's good. And then you want to shove this wave as hard as you can.
Right.
Which we are not doing.
Got scared to set.
Yeah, you did. But there's no reason to be scared of set, because all you want to do is you want to crash this wave and you want to recall. He can't 100 to 0 you. There's no way.
Shit. I have to go eat dinner, by the way.
Okay. There we go. So I gotta remember.
Not using the Q for farming.
Yep. Oh yeah, okay. So I think this is where I was saying you needed to shove the wave really hard, but then you weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still not the worst. You're doing okay. You're healthy. Trade back. Okay, well, this is not. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Letting him get like blocking me out from my tower.
Yeah. So, what does Set want? What kind of trades? Long or short?
Long.
Yeah. Yep. And then when you burn your E here, and then walk back into him, just asking for a long trade.
Yeah, because I don't have the ability to just hop away.
Yeah. But even then, you're still fine as long as you continue to walk it this way when he walks up this way and you just match his movement.
Yeah.
But you instead doubled down, went for the stun. Yeah, this is a dastard. But it's still, you can still live. You can just keep running this way. You throw the Q at him to slow him, and you keep running. But you clicked behind him.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then, now, okay, you live because your E comes back up, but...
I also had flash up.
Yeah. Still
But
way higher
still
risk than
bad
is
trade.
necessary. Yeah. So much worse than needed. And that was part of why I was telling you could just shove the wave earlier, because his damage is far lower when you're not hitting him. Because he needs you to build up his grit so that his W does a ton of damage.
Right, and even then I can hop out of it with my E, so that should give me an advantage over him, right?
Okay, so the wave pushes into you. Cool. Just farming for a while. Now you want to look to shove this wave as fast as you can, and then immediately recall.
Which I do not do.
Right.
Once again.
Yeah. So
I never really think about it, and then like now that I'm watching it,
yeah,
there's just so many times where I have so much gold that I could recall and like easily get Sheen at least, and that would help a bunch. But
yeah. Once you see it a few times, it just you can't unsee it. So yeah. So what I wanted is I wanted you to hit this minion, quickly kill it, and then use all of your abilities on this wave. Because the wave is at the inhib turret, so you have enough time as long as you kill this wave as fast as possible. But when you don't do that, because notice you're holding on to your E, kind of, I mean, like you're shoving it but not fully committed to the shove.
yeah,
And because of that, the wave gets stuck just a little bit under his turret.
yeah,
This still isn't bad. It will push back into you, because right here it takes 4 minions, and you would only have 3, plus this one's like half HP. So it will push back into you. But it's not as good.
yeah.
Either way...
Item disadvantage.
Yes. Must be recalling. But
Was
you
it
did
also a
not.
bad idea to start with the boots instead?
Yeah, I don't think you need the boots.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay,
I like.
but I would rather you not.
Yeah, I've seen other people do it before, so I thought like it'd be good because it'd allow me to run out of his E faster.
It does make it a little bit easier, yeah, but I think you're fine with just going Doran's Blade.
Yeah, plus I was also sacrificing damage. I could tell early on.
Yeah.
Because like I would fuck up because I didn't do enough damage to minions because I'm used to using the other thing.
Yep.
So.
Okay, we're gonna do what I did last time. We're going to wait until you buy items. Let's see. Okay. Well, oh, you die. That's what it takes. All right.
Like really sad that I died there.
Yeah. Just have no items. Can't crash the wave.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, admittedly, you could still just leave.
Yeah. I still have teleport. I didn't have to do that.
Yeah. And then you ran into him after ulting him, and oh man.
Yeah, this is a dumb fight to pick.
Yep. Okay. So
Should
This-
I be? Okay. Oh wait, never mind. You already said that. Don't mind.
do we shove or do we slow push?
Slow push.
Why?
What you said? Shove.
It should be shove.
Right.
Because of where the next wave is. Again, it's under inhib. And you have enough time to crash the wave. So you should
Right.
just immediately crash it. And then you did. This is good.
Dumb ward again.
Uh-huh. If you were gonna ward, it would have been earlier when you were actually gonna push soon, not after you did the push.
Right.
Then the wave pushes back into you. So, the great thing about shoving the wave, assuming you do it properly, is it gives you a little bit of a window to where you can do pretty much whatever you want. Especially because it's cannon. So what you can do with that is you can check if Scuttle's up, maybe you can take that, or you could take your jungler's Krugs.
Right. Oh. Huh. Yeah.
Another
I usually
option.
try to avoid doing that because I feel like all the time my jungler gets pissed off at me.
Yeah, it depends on how they're pathing. Like, if they're about to go to the Krugs, don't take it. But, like, watch this warwick. He's going bottom.
down. Yeah.
And then recon it. It makes no sense. But yeah, if he's on his red buff and he's about to do his Krugs, don't take the Krugs. But otherwise, you're going to help them out because you're going to clear it. It's going to make it a higher level next time it respawns, and it'll respawn sooner than if they had killed it.
Right.
Now, the jungler may not understand that, but you are helping them. And he's not going to clear that dang Krugs camp for so long. Yeah, no. It would have respawned by the time he got to it.
Still so untouched.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, so you get the crash, I think here. Yeah, so you get the crash, and then, yeah. So your options were, as I said, you could check out Scuttle, you could do Krugs, or you could go and you could get a deep ward in their jungle. Which would give you far more information that would be useful than this. Because this is like the last line of defense of that vision. But with vision in their jungle, you can maybe look to go kill him potentially later if Warwick comes topside, or it at least gives information you're Swain. You can work with that information, but this doesn't really do much for you.
Right.
And then if you were to ward it, let me see if I can get Rift Kit here, so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Let's move down. So the exact spot you'd be warding is like right here. Because if you do it properly, it shows vision of the Gromp and the blue buff.
Yeah.
So that would be really good. Alternatively, if let's say you were on blue side like Set, then you could go and you could ward over the Krugs wall, something like that. Just as long as you're getting information on camps.
Right.
Come back. That was a weird E. He, he missed it, and then you jumped.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, keep jumping away from him. Collect the waves. Oh, we're going for a fight. This is good. Throw him under the turret. Wonderful. Okay, well, almost good.
I thought I missed the fucking.
Yeah, and you want to use your E when he's Wing, so like you would, or at least dodge it or something. Yeah.
Fucking just let him hit me and goofed my Q, which was not.
Yeah.
And then yeah.
So you're throwing the Q.
I like missed 2 abilities.
Yeah. It's not entirely relevant in this sequence, but it may help you a little bit. Do you understand where the hitbox is on champions?
Yeah, for the most part, I think.
Somewhat.
I was just I was panicking there, so I goofed up.
Well, what I'm saying is like his hitbox. Let's say, because a lot of people think that the hitbox is like on their chest, but the hitbox is at their feet.
Yeah.
And so that may be partially why you're not aiming at the right spot if you're not aiming for his feet.
Yeah, no, I know for a fact I just kind of started button mashing and then I fucking goofed so hard.
Yeah.
Right. I don't even think I think he killed me here too, which is really sad. Oh no, Warwick got him. That was right. He just ran up and queued him once.
Yeah. Crash the wave, and get the plate, and then leave.
Nope.
Please. Please.
I think I shoved this wave and then try him back.
Yeah. So.
But after he's already there.
Yeah. That's the problem with staying extra, because based on his respawn time, he just respawned now. He's gonna be back here in about 20-ish seconds, and then if you had recalled right after plate, you'd be able to come back and collect the wave before he gets to crash. But now you can't do that. Just stay for the extra wave. Warwick decided to die. Quite the homie.
Yeah, he fucking dove under the turret. Yeah.
Okay. When you are coming back to lane, you should be using your E.
Yeah.
No reason not to.
Yeah, because the cooldown would be fucking down by the time I get back anyways.
Yep. Okay. Hiding him. Good. He's angry. Okay. Hiding one out the window, but we're trying.
I fucking missed again.
Oh!
I missed again. I'm so fucking embarrassing.
You had E up. Then you.
It just doesn't help that I missed the fucking E right after I flashed too.
Yeah, it was not ideal. Turret. Cool.
Yeah, we got both towers there.
Yeah. Bit of a. Okay, that was. Here, good. Here, also good. Here, not good.
Bad.
Very, very too close. It looks like Warwick will get her, maybe?
Yeah, he does.
Okay, good. So, at least, yeah, won it overall. You also didn't use your refillable potion at all during that.
Yeah. Common theme of me focusing on one thing at a time and 2 things too many.
Yep. Now, maybe missing it partially because I'm skipping a bunch, but you very rarely hit. Here we go. Okay, we got scoreboard. So, yeah, dragon's up in 3.5 minutes. You are kind of even with set.
I mean, I'm beating him in farm by 10.
Yeah. So, knowing that Drake's not up for about 3 minutes, are you in a rush to be anywhere?
No.
Nope. So I should see you playing accordingly.
But I'm like trying to shove wave, which I should not be doing.
Right. Now, if you wanted to go take jungle camps, you could argue this. But all of Warwick's camps are down. Actually, wait.
Yeah.
Kane's dead. Hold on. But it depends on when. Let's see. So they're fighting here. You did move your camera. That was good. Yeah, so actually, okay, I take that back. When you see Kane die, you can push here. Because then you can push here and go look to take his camps that are up.
Oh, okay.
So that you can do. But unless you have that specifically in mind, I don't like the idea of pushing.
Yeah.
Now Set is going to allow you to get a free kill here. This is great. Take it. Oh, dear God. Okay, alright, we got him.
I got him.
Stressing me out.
Should I go on? Nah. Right.
You
After the
can
kill,
take
should I
Gromp
kill?
before you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Minute 29 until Drake. Small thing. Base inefficiency. So you're recalling, and then you want your Caulfield's Warhammer, whatever, and you're waiting for this longsword gold.
Yeah.
Once you're about 3 gold away, you should already be clicking out here so that you can buy the item as you're on the edge of the fountain.
Right.
And then that'll work. But instead, you wait. It's not awful, but it's just a slight thing.
Yeah, and then I also stand still and like try to decide where to go.
Yeah. And you're just wasting time here because your base health regen is going to cover you for a good bit of this. You don't need to stay to full HP. Just kind of looking around. And then you could E here. So it's just a lot of small seconds here and there that can add up a ton.
Yeah.
Right. I don't like that you ran mid. If there was a reason to run mid, then sure, but I don't see any kind of indication based on where your camera is that you need to run mid.
Yeah. I think I was just thinking about tower.
Okay.
Which because bot lane won, so it's like I don't know what else to do, and there's like no camps up in the blue side jungle.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Scuttle, but it's a minute 30, so I don't know.
Because what we want to do is we want to play around this Drake. Spawns in 70 seconds. So if you want to run mid lane, like, okay, you don't, like, you could take Krugs, you could take Raptors, but if you want to run mid lane just to make sure they don't die, then that's okay. But then immediately after, you need to be running top, because you need to have this wave crash at, like, 30 seconds before Drake spawns.
Yeah.
This is particularly good since Set does not have teleport, so he's going to be stuck there, and then you can choose either to stay with him or teleport and win the fight.
Right.
But none of that happened. Now he gets to crash the wave. You're going to miss all of these minions top. You may still win the fight, but then, look, Swain goes to catch it.
Yeah.
Now it's a messy 4v4.
Yeah.
Should never happen when you have teleport advantage. You die,
Right.
and then it's kind of a mess all over the place. So, yeah, at this point it's just, you got to be thinking about the Drake spawn timer and what you want to do with the waves beforehand.
Yeah.
So, let's see, before the fight, you were mid, and then you would be running top now, so it's 64 seconds beforehand. So that's pushing the wave out a little bit. You can go, you can take Gromp or whatever, and then you slow push all the way until right before 30 seconds, and whatever wave that is, shove it into the turret.
Okay.
And there's just nothing he can do because you're stronger than him right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, where in the world did I put that notepad? I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah.
Into the void.
I'll just bring up a new one. So it's all this stuff is similar to last time. Is God dang it. Stay with me, notepad. Yeah, so all of it was like pretty similar stuff. It's just now long this one is play around big spawn time. Think about when you want to crash the wave.
Yeah.
That. So, okay. Is there anything that you're confused on when it comes to the games, or like how to apply any kind of information? Anything confusing at all?
I think I could say right now that I get it, but in game, I think I'd probably still fuck up.
For sure. Yep.
I think everything makes sense though. Wave management is a little bit like I don't know exactly how to think about it or like when to do like the certain wave things, but you explained it in a way that I guess makes much more sense now.
Yeah, so you can at least start to practice it.
Yeah, especially surrounding like the like I don't know, I guess like first I guess like 4 or 5 waves.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense to me, but like I think mid to like late game I'm a little bit more confused, but
yep.
I think by then it's like gotta get the hang of it anyways, right?
And if you practice the early game wave management enough, you'll start to realize that the mid and late game wave management is very similar. Where you're still looking to slow push and crash a wave before you want to recall or leave to go to a dragon. Or you may want to freeze when you don't need to leave. Like if dragon's not up, that's a great time to freeze. And then you can look to kill your opponent when they walk up to farm.
Yeah.
So it's all going to transfer.
If I'm like in a low rank as well, like I am, and then I like push that top wave and they ignore it, then it's like split pushing for free without being there.
Yep.
So that makes more sense. Cool. I think the biggest thing though is like the clicking though and the quick cast. I don't know how to do the quick cast. Like what setting is that?
I can pull that up. Okay.
Oh, primary hotkeys, quick castle and normal castle.
Yeah.
So which one am I clicking? Quick cast.
Quick cast. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It should be.
Set hotkeys.
Yeah, that one. The quick cast. Oh. Yep. So that'll apply to your abilities as well as summoner spells and your ward.
Right, yeah.
So you might want to play a few normal games before you jump into ranked and then suddenly use your ward all wrong because you're not used to the setting.
Well, so how does it work with the warding then? Is it just like the same, like if you place my mouse somewhere and then click the...
Yeah, and then you just click the button.
Yep. Okay.
Same thing with like Flash, or Flash might be quick. I know. Let's see. Some of the summoner spells are quick cast automatically, but I'm not sure. Maybe Flash is, maybe it isn't. Yeah, anyway, but you'll figure it out.
Yeah, get used to it.
Yeah. As you work on all that stuff in the future, if you're still having difficulty or you want to find new stuff that you have issues with, you can just message me and we can do another session whenever.
Okay. Sounds good. I fucking clicking and spacing is going to like take a while for me to get used to.
Yeah, that's going to be the hardest thing to do.
Like, I always knew that it was like fucked up. I don't know. I just don't know like how to fix it or like what. It's like very confusing. I mean, you explained it in a way that makes a lot more sense. I know what I have to do. It's just like it's gonna take a while to like untrain my brain.
Yep. Takes a long time to have it come naturally.
There's good points, especially about like the warding and like wave crashing, especially that are probably. I think those are like the main things that I just didn't know how to do. picking fights is also a little bit of like a sketchy area for me. But I feel like if I just like actually think about like waves and like warding, it's gonna like come a lot more naturally to like know when to pick fights.
The fight should come with that a little bit.
Alrighty.
As long as you're thinking about items.
Yeah, items too. Back aim.
Yeah.
Just waiting for like 5 minutes for you to back. Right, so if I'm in like lane, I want to try and like shove first wave. Ideally, have like what 3 caster minions left. Then like slow push it, and then do I crash third wave?
Hold on, run that by me again from the start, because I think we're missing something here.
Right, so do you like try and like shove the first one, like try and kill all their minions so you have more? No?
So, if you have control over the wave, you want to just last hit on the first wave.
Oh, okay.
Same thing for the second wave, and then the third wave you shove as hard as you can.
Right, and then back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, well, also the backing is going to depend, but I'll get to that. So, if where did my tool go? God, I closed it. Okay, so the wave at the start of the game is here. If you insta-shove the first wave, there's multiple issues with that. One, that means you're probably using your Q. But also, you're pushing the wave too fast, and so they're not going to have to worry about last hitting because you're just wiping their minions.
Yeah.
It's also going to end up under their turret before you even make it to the third wave.
Right. So shove, like, that just means it'd be too early.
Yes.
Okay. And you also want cannon to be under tower because that would like hold it there a lot longer, allowing you to get more time to get back.
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense.
Another thing is clearing the first wave. Let's say you had an ability that could just clear it instantly. That doesn't give you level 2 any faster.
Yeah.
Because you get it off the second wave anyway.
Right.
So you don't gain any benefit from clearing it faster.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that it's cleared as that second wave's coming in, so then you can play off that level 2 spike.
Right. Okay. That makes a little more sense. I guess I'll go to fucking Gnar and try that out, and then I guess focus on what the things you said, and then hopefully if I can get better, I'll like record another video in like the day.
Yep. Oh, and so you mentioned recalling. The recalling is conditional. So let's say let's say you have control over the wave, and you, in theory, can recall after the third wave. Now, this is good only if it doesn't absolutely screw over your jungler. Because what happens if your jungler starts bot side and he's like, oh, my laner has prio. I'm going to go fight for Scuttle, but you recalled.
Yeah.
And then the enemy jungler also passed that way, and then your jungler dies. Or maybe your jungler is weak early, like, let's say, an Amumu, and the enemy jungler is a Lee Sin or something. You take the recall, and then your jungler gets invaded.
Right.
So, going for that recall is good if your jungler is pathing the other way, or if like you know there's not going to be some kind of fight topside because either your jungler is pathing the other way or the enemy jungler is pathing the other way, then that's fine.
Okay. That makes sense, yeah. So then, like, what about if I were, like, losing lane? Like, say they were crashing into my tower instead.
Mm-hmm. So they crashed the third wave?
Yeah.
Then you would farm under your turret, and then you would look to slow push back into them.
Slow push back into them and then try and shove them back?
Yes. You're looking for your back.
Okay. Alright. Makes sense.